Hello, Connective. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Like, share, and subscribe without smashing or hitting anything. And let's get into this energy. This is a collective reading for Sagittarius. Sagittarius, let's see what's going on for you. They are shuffled, but I don't like the cards that have been coming out, so let me just move them a little bit. See if I can get a different kind of reading from Sagittarius today. See what's going on. The energy cards for Sagittarius. We'd like some energy cards that are, allow us to talk about something positive. Getting a little nastier as the readings go on. So we're trying to change direction here with Sagittarius. We get some other cards for Sagittarius to help us. Ooh, wow. Okay, that's weird. It's like, and I don't take that as particularly clumsy. The cards are acting up a little bit. Wow. What did we lose? Oh my goodness. It's literally over here. Wow. Here, let me see if I can. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, that was kind of worth getting. Let's see. How many cards do we have? You know what? Let's just go through it one more time. I want to say both of the other fire signs got this. Definitely Leo. But I want to say Aries got it too. Which is weird. But not uncommon. Let me see what else we can get out of here. I don't see any of the riffraff that came out on those other two readings. So let's see what's going on. Okay. Okay. It's not terrible. All right, so who do we do first? So, okay, so we're going with the Thinking Man. So I want to say that it was Aries that got the Thinking Woman. And then we have Caring Connections. Pretty sure that was everybody who got that. And then let's do, well, Cornucopia is easy to place. This is kind of like, the feast, like showing up at a party and just being able to choose whatever it is that you want to eat, right? And we have Door to Romance. Now, this is a great card, but it did not save us in the last reading. We didn't have the Door to Romance, but we had what looked like a pretty good couple here that was just getting messed with. So we'll see what's going on, because we also have Action, right? Hopefully this is just something easy. We have Indecision. And I think I'm going to also put it up here. Yeah, I think I'm going to put the Door here. And then we have Attachment. Attachment, not necessarily for this reading right now, but attachment a lot of times has a negative connotation when we're talking about like any kind of like spiritual things. Like I consider to be like this to be a higher relationship. This Door to Romance is like a evolved relationship. A lot of times we're not supposed to have attachments to anything. It kind of messes stuff up. It could even create the indecision, and it could even like keep us from acting like if we're supposed to, if that's what that action card is. Usually it is, but let's see. We also have the Thinking Man on the table. So we're either contemplating about it or we need to. It's kind of like the action card. We either need to act or there was an action that caused some kind of disruption. Although I do see indecision, so that kind of tells me that we need to act. Like we haven't done it yet. There's something we need to do before we do it. We have Caring Connections and Cornucopia, which is usually what we're working towards. But like I said in the other case, it was they kind of already had it, and it's not like they wouldn't have it again. They would, but they had it, and it was getting messed with. Let's see if we can figure out. Get one more card, maybe. What is that? Yeah. Let's try. This looks like we're trying to get our relationship back on track. To be honest with you. All right. Look, I would like another jumper. If not, I'm gonna pull. Yeah, okay. All right. So they, I want to say Aries had this. Keeping up immense effort, advance. So moving forward, we'll put that over here by action. We have investigate, look closely, ask questions, think before acting. So they had like, they were supposed to be looking at something, but it wasn't investigate, it was another card. I don't know why, I don't remember which one it was. It probably just flew right out, which is good because we were trying to ditch that energy anyway. We're trying to get you guys into something else. And this is the right way. Learning to create what you desire. Yeah, okay. These cards are in a funny place, but let's pull. Okay, they actually might be in the right place. Let's pull the moons and let's figure out what the blind spot is. So let's see who else is involved with Sagittarius on this. All right, let's see if we can get 3 moon cards. Get three moons, please, for Sagittarius today. Try to see what's going on with this energy. Door to romance, carrying connections. So door to romance to me is like a relationship, but carrying connections could be a relationship. Usually it is. I'm also picking this up as it could be friends in this one. Huh, okay. Get 2 more moons. Wow. That card wanted to separate itself, but it did not. Oh, it's new. I just need 1 more moon. Can we get 1 more moon, please? Ooh. All right, we get 2. Anything else? This is like, come on. All right. What we got? So, okay. We have new moon in Pisces, attuned to the divine. See the other fire signs we're getting stuff like this. That needs to go kind of like closer to, that goes with the door to romance. And then we have last quarter moon in Gemini, clear your mind. So not only investigating, but clearing our minds. And then full moon in Cancer, let your fears dissolve. We have fear on the table. I'm just going to tell you before we even get into how fear interacts with this situation. Fear is never going to help you out. It blocks everything. It messes you up. You can't even good luck with this if you have fear. And it's going to mess you up here too, by the way. If you have fear about something you're attached, it's like a triple whammy. And then you have full moon in Leo, go wild. All right, so you could have a Gemini, a Leo, a Pisces, or a Cancer with you on this one, Sagittarius. Let's see what's going on. Again, I don't necessarily, I mean, we have the door to romance, so relationship, yes. I don't see any relationship players on the table. So with like indecision and attachment, it's possible that, and like action, it's possible that this is like messing with a potential relationship. We still have carrying connections on the table. We have clear your mind. So we have indecision and clear your mind and attachment. We have 1. So last time we had 2. What is this? All right, let's see what this one is. What is our blind spot? 46. Every time I see another blind spot, I'm always glad it's not that. 46. Oh, we have gotten this before. So 46 is the faulty compass. Ah. Okay. Okay. Shit. Well, I'm all of a sudden door to romance down here now. Sorry. Okay. Let's see if we can get to the door to romance. All right, so Sagittarius, this is not a relationship you're in. This is either a relationship this is either the aftermath of a relationship that you were in that's messing everything up, it's messing up your compass, or this is before the relationship and you came into it with the faulty compass and it's causing you to not be able to move towards, you're overthinking, first of all. This could be a man, this could be a woman, this could be anyone. Definitely overthinking. Thinking about it, some of you could be mildly thinking about it without overthinking it. I think that for the majority of you, there's overthinking involved in this. You're assessing something that happened in the past that, wow. Yeah. You're assessing something that happened in the past that did not go the way you wanted it to go. And you have gotten to the point where, like I said, you've either thought yourself into a hole, or I don't see you messing with this stuff necessarily, the carrying connections, the cornucopia, and the door to romance. It's not like you have it and you're screwing it up because of this. You don't have this. What you have is the indecision, the attachment to the idea that this faulty compass, something has given you the idea that something isn't what you think it is. It's that thing. It's like you being in a relationship with somebody who cheated and then thinking that everyone cheats, right? All right, so let's go back to something real quick and let's investigate this, right? The other person cheated. Did you cheat? Because if you didn't cheat, then you already know that not everyone cheats, right? You can use yourself as an example, okay? If you didn't, then you might believe that everybody cheats. I get that. I mean, I don't get it, but I get it. Again, you can be attached to that, I was going to say realization, but you could be attached to that idea if you wanted to be, right? The universe isn't going to stop you from believing whatever you want. They'll even let you go forward with this belief and try to get into this and go through this and screw it all up. They'll let you, right? So keeping up is like this action card, you kind of moving forward, you kind of realizing that situation was unique. Like, I say unique because sometimes what'll happen is in certain situations, especially if like we went through a bunch of stuff and we didn't realize we were supposed to be learning something, even though the situations look unique to you, if you go back with a certain lens, you realize they were all the same, right? They were just wrong. They were like the wrong way, right? And you might have even like helped it along, like taken action in the wrong way to the point where, it's creating more of like, I was going to say a bubble. I don't know what made me think of that, but it's creating more of like, it's feeding into this idea that things aren't what you want them to be. You're attached to that idea because whatever happened either happened a bunch of times or it happened so strong that you really are having a hard time believing anything else. You basically broke your compass. Somebody broke your compass, right? This is telling you to clear your mind. First of all, just forget everything you think you know about relationships. A lot of times when you look at the relationship, you look at like the other person. This isn't on the table, but I always say that you need to see how, like, who they had to be to treat you a certain way, right? Even if they didn't do anything in in Leo's reading, like someone else was doing it, but they were letting them. So even if the person that you're with isn't doing it and they're letting someone else do something, you still have to kind of look at it for what it was, to see the players, to see that who that person had to be to allow other people to do that to you, to not protect you, as I told Leo, right? Because if it's their people, like they're on their side, then they need to protect you from that. If they can't protect you from that, there's a possibility that even if you did get through that particular situation, they wouldn't be able to protect you in the future, right? So we go back and we look at it. We get attached to these ideas that things are always that way, right? Like I said, the wrong way. And what you need to do is when you go back and you figure out who that person had to be to either do the thing or allow the thing to be done, right? If it's allowing the thing to be done, then guess what? You also have to investigate the other person that was doing it. This is the action that was done to you, and see who they had to be to do that. And then you have to look at yourself and you have to figure out who you had to be to allow that to be done to you. A lot of times we act like, well, I didn't bring this, I didn't do this, I didn't, but we allowed it. We were in it. We were there. We allowed it, right? Once you figure that out, once you figure out all the things that you did to kind of like allow that thing to move forward, then you have to figure out like what you would consider to be the right way of that relationship, what it should have been, or who someone should have been. Not that you can change them, but you can see the contrast of what you got and what you wanted or what you needed in that particular situation, right? Even if you have to clear your mind, even if you have to, like I said, wipe everything that you know before you look into it, because again, you have a faulty compass. Even if you like just wanted to take all the knowledge with you and move forward and like try to figure out what happened, you have this faulty compass. This thing is going to keep sending you to places that you don't want to go, right? So when you're investigating, figure out what that right way is. Figure out what you have to do to move in that way, right? Now, if you're confused, because it could be, we have indecision here on the table, right? Maybe we don't really know what happened, right? Maybe we don't know what happened and we're attached to like whatever idea we thought was true after it, which is like, again, two things we have to do, not just one, because we have to, clear our mind and investigate, right? And now we have fear on the table, because what we went through, not only do we have like a misguided, our boat's going to the wrong place, but we're pretty much like afraid to even either get on the boat or where the boat is going to end up, right? Because we feel like either this always happens or this happened in a way where we do not want it to happen again, ever. And New Moon in Pisces is telling you to attune to the divine. That basically through this ending of whatever was going on that made you have to clear your mind and basically, trying to keep up with what's going on or just to get through it, basically advance. And again, you might be so deep in this faulty compass thought process that you might really have to like take some extra effort to really realize what's true and what's not. Sometimes we don't realize how much we were lied to or how bad something was because we either didn't see the whole thing or we just didn't realize like someone's like intentions behind it. So the terrible thing happened, like we saw it, and again, enough to create, indecision and attachment to like faulty compasses and fear. But we didn't necessarily see like the bigger picture until like later, a lot of times till like we clear our minds And then, like I said, we see who that person had to be or what maybe they did on purpose. Because sometimes people say things and then you go on that premise, and then again, you have no idea where you're going because what you're being told, like what direction that you're being told to go in is not actually the direction you're going in or the direction that you want to go in. And so you don't realize that you're just either going around in circles or you're going somewhere you don't want to be. You can ask. Attune to the divine is basically like, either pay attention to yourself, pay attention to your higher self. If you talk to your angels, guides, and ancestors, you can do that. Unfortunately, right now, there's no angels on the table. Maybe they'll show up later. But right now, you're either in this or you're in it, getting out of it, or you're out of it, and you have no idea which way to go because your compass is messed up. Even if you did want to act, because you did want to move forward, because you wanted to get past it, even if you knew that you shouldn't have any fear, like in relationships, like fear doesn't belong in relationships, you might not know like how to get out of that. And it might be just literally messing with, you could be attached to anything that's messing with this idea of what is the right way to have a relationship, right? What is the right way to relate to someone? What is the right way to allow somebody to relate to you? Right? Because again, we're talking about our part in this. And the go wild card. So it either went wild, you went wild, with your indecision or your attachment, or you need to go wild clearing your mind, because right now this indecision and this faulty compass are taking over. The attachment, not so much. The attachment might be to the other person. Could be. Might even be confusing things a little bit, especially if you're still looking at that person like in a positive light. Like if you're in a place where you're like blaming yourself or something like that, you're not really seeing them for like who they were, who they had to be to do what they needed to do or did. Again, you need to attune to the divine. Like I was about to say, they may not needed to do anything. They just did it. They just committed the action and just did it. Like I said, sometimes we don't have the full picture. Sometimes we don't realize that like maybe that person does it all the time, or that person has like some value, some belief that doesn't allow them to like go through this door or have this. They could have literally sabotaged your caring connection. Sometimes they see that the caring connection is possible, like they see all this stuff. It's not that they don't see it. It's that it scares them. And they act up. And they do stuff. And they create indecision and fear in you. They make it so you don't even understand like what's either happening or what should happen. Right? And again, this card is telling you to investigate. Clear your mind and investigate. Like I said, don't investigate with what you think you have moving forward, because what you think you have moving forward is a faulty compass. What you think you have moving forward is indecision, and what you think you have moving forward is attachment. That's why moving forward is here. Unfortunately. Moving forward needs to be here, right? Advancement. Moving forward needs to be here in the right way, right? We need to be attached to moving the right way. Forget about this card. This card is taking us in places that we don't want to go. We need to like clear our minds, right? If we're going to do anything with this card, we're going to clear our mind with it. It's very easy to get tripped up in this, especially if we're only looking at the one relationship, right? Because again, like I said, sometimes you look back, and this faulty compass might have got you in this relationship, right? You might have had this faulty compass the entire time you were trying to go through relationships. So you may be looking back and looking at this relationship, and you may not be realizing that it's not just this relationship, right? You need to investigate. And if you can't like investigate to the point where it's really like standing out, like I want to say it was like Leo who got that it would be revealed, right? You're investigating, now it's going to come out kind of thing. We don't always have to see it to change it. we may not have to necessarily see how our compass is faulty to get like the compass to work again, or just to get another compass. It could help, because at least then later on, if our compass breaks again, we know how to fix it, kind of thing. But ultimately, I always say that if you know how to fix it, it's not going to break again, right? Because you already got yourself to the point where you know what you need to do to like have it be the right way. And so the wrong way doesn't happen, even if the other person tries to go wild. You just already see it. Your mind is clear when you go into it. There's no fear. So fear a lot of times comes from not knowing how to handle it when it pops up again. That's what I'm saying about the faulty compass. The compass breaks. First of all, the investigation, here it is, kind of tells us that the compass is broken, but it doesn't necessarily tell us how to fix it, right? We might know something's messed up. We might be like, God, I have this belief, it's got everything all screwed up, and I don't really know how to fix it, right? I don't really know what the right way is. You don't even, once you figure it out, like I said, once you look at the person for who they were, for who the other person was, for who, if there was one involved, for who you were to allow it to happen, you clear your mind. If you have to, attune to the divine. Fear is an indicator. If you have fear, like say if you're trying to go into the next relationship because you're trying to get this, and all of a sudden in the beginning of this thing you're thinking about it too much, or you experience some kind of fear, that's going to let you know that your compass is still faulty. Why? Because if you had fixed your compass, you wouldn't have the fear. The fear comes from knowing that if this happens again, I don't know how to fix it. It's with every single situation. It's not just with this one. It's kind of like, and you get into it over your head, you get in over your head. Like even just saying a friendship, it doesn't have to be a relationship, right? You get in over your head. Let's say you have a friend that is a bad influence, right? They just make decisions that somehow when you're out with them, you don't know how to say no. So you end up like making bad decisions with them all the time, right? You just don't know how to say no. Keep getting into this BS with this person because they know that when they call you, you'll do the thing that they want to do, even though you know it's a bad decision, right? You don't know how to say no. So then every time the phone rings, you have fear, right? I don't know how to say no to this person. Once you learn how to say no to that person, first of all, you don't have a faulty compass anymore. And even if you did, you would know how to fix it. But on top of that, you already know. There's no fear. No, I'm not going to do this with you. I want to do this the right way. Every time I go out with you, you do something weird, and I don't like it, right? I'm not attached to that anymore. I'm going to stop and do something else, right? People stop calling. Like I said, if you don't know how, you can ask your higher self. You can ask your angels and ancestors. You can ask God, how do I get out of this? How do I fix my faulty compass? How do I get rid of my fear? How do I clear my mind? Right? How do I get rid of this indecision? How do I get to the point where I'm not like overthinking this anymore? Right? How do I release attachment? Help me release attachment. In what way should I go? What is the right way? Right? How do I advance? Right? How do I move towards this? What do I want to eat? Who's going to go through this door with me? Because again, you can't go through this door with a faulty compass. It's not going to take you there. You're going to be standing here. This card is usually like crossroads, right? Like a decision that needs to be made. It's a crossroads. You can go this way or you can go this way, right? When you have a faulty compass, it doesn't matter which way you go. You're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be. So Sagittarius, it's about time for us to pull some more cards. Let's figure out like what the healing cards have to tell us. If they can tell us something that we need to heal from, or if it would give us more of an indication of what's coming towards us. Let's say after this. Yeah, it's time. So Sagittarius, if this is your reading, meet us over at the extended. The link will be in the description. And if not, till we meet again.